Hi everyone, our today's topic is if-else and if-elif-else structure in Python. Before starts today's session, let us try to recall what have we discussed in our lecture 25, that is previous video. What is sequential execution? We discussed about what is the need of control statements. What are the categories of control statements? Importance of indentation. And we covered implementation of if statement also. If you haven't watched that video, please watch that video for the better understanding of this video. The link is given in the description box. After watching this video, you will be able to know use of else class, importance of if-elif-else, execution procedure of if-elif-else, implementation of if-else and if-elif. We started our discussion about the conditional statements in the previous video. We covered if statement, that is one of the selection statement or conditional statement. So remaining two selection statements, those are if-else, if-else-if, we are going to cover in this video. In the last video, we covered if structure. If block will be executed when the given condition is true. That is what we covered. But in if structure, we are not mentioning any alternative path when the given condition is false. So if you want to specify such type of the alternative path, what you want to do when the given condition is false? In such cases, you can use else class. If is called one-way decision structure because there is only one way. If condition is true, then some statements will be executed. That is one way. If-else is called two-way decision structure because here we have two decisions. One is if the condition is true, that is one way, and if the condition is false, that is second way. First, see the syntax of the if-else. If is a keyword, we need to frame a condition. After that, what is the statement or what are the statements you want to execute? If the condition is true, you can write those statements. Then else class, statement or statements. When the given condition is false, then this else statements will be executed. This is the flow chart of the if-else. See, this is the starting point. If condition, we are going to write condition here. This returns may be true or may be false also, depending on the condition we framed. If the condition is true, if block statements will be executed. If the given condition is false, else block statements will be executed and that reach the ending point of the if-else block. For the better understanding, see this case. If the given condition is true, what will be happen? First, the condition will be checked. If the given condition is true, if block only will be executed, then it will reach the ending point of the if-else structure. In this case, else block will be ignored. Second case, if the given condition is false, see, the condition will be checked first. If the condition value is false, the else block statement or statements will be executed and it reaches to the ending point. In this case, only else block will be executed and if block will be ignored. See the implementation of if-else. Here our intention is to check a number is even or odd. So here we are using input function to prompt the user to enter the number and we are storing that value into the variable number. So we are using type conversion here. Generally, if you want to know whether the given number is even or odd, we must divide that number with 2. If the remainder is 0, we can say that the given number is even. That is general rule. So same rule we are implementing here in the fifth statement. Observe. So the given number is stored in the variable number modulus division. So when we use modulus division, it returns remainder, right? Modulus division with 2, we are comparing with the values 0. Nothing but if you divide that given number with 2, the remainder is equal to 0 or not, we are comparing. If it is 0, if the remainder is equal to 0, then this if statement will be executed, sixth statement. So if remainder is equals to 0 means the given number is even. That is we are writing in the sixth statement. Print the given number is even. You may enter odd number also sometimes. So in such cases, this condition becomes false. If this condition is false, else block will be executed. In the false case, if block will be ignored. Sixth statement will be ignored, and directly that comes to the else block. What is the statement or what are the statements you have written within the else block? Those only will be executed. So in this case, if the remainder is not equals to 0, we can say that the given number is odd. That is what we are writing in the else block. Execute it. See now, enter the number. Just I am entering 6. Press enter button. Number is even. Let us execute one more time. In this case, I am entering some odd number. Let us enter 3. Press enter button. So number is odd. So this is how to implement if else. Now see, next structure is if else. Here we are using the keyword elif. This is the short form for else if. Generally in C based programming languages like C, CPP, Java, we use the keywords else space if. But in Python, we are writing elif. So it is a multi-way decision structure, because here we are going to create multiple paths. In branching statements, when you want to set several alternatives, so in the if statement, we use only one path. In if else, we used two paths. One is true, second one is false path. In this, we can set several paths, several alternatives we can set for the if. If you want to set several alternatives, we can use the keyword else if. You can write elif class. When we use else if class, we need to write a condition. So if you want to use multiple else if classes, you need to write multiple conditions. See the syntax. If condition 1, statements to execute if condition 1 is true. So if keyword, we need to write one condition. If this condition 1 is true, the following statement or statements will be executed. Next, elif condition 2. If the condition 1 is false, then only the condition 2 will be evaluated. So the statements of condition 2 will be executed if condition 1 is false and condition 2 is true. Suppose condition 2 is also false, then it is going to check one more condition. Like you can frame how many conditions you want. Else if condition 3. So when condition 2 is false, then only condition 3 will be checked. So this condition 3 related statements will be executed when condition 1 and condition 2 are false and condition 3 is true. And finally, we can write else class. This else class statements will be executed if all the given conditions are false. Condition 1, condition 2 and condition 3 are false. Then else statements will be executed. The important point is here the else block is optional. Without else also we can implement if-elif class. In this branching, at most one of the code blocks specified will be executed. Nothing but, even though we have written that many blocks, at any point of time only one block will be executed. If an else clause is not included and all the given conditions are false, in this case none of the blocks will be executed. As we covered, else block is optional, but suppose all the conditions are false but you are not writing else class, in that case none of the blocks will be executed. See this example of else if. So we are using one variable x, and when you execute this program prompts you to enter a number. So you need to enter one number dynamically, that is at runtime. So we are checking what is the value of that x. So we are using some conditions only here. If the given value is equals to 1, I want to execute this statement. That value may or may not be equal to 1. You may enter any value. Else if, next I want to check whether the given value is equals to 5. If the given value is equal to 5, then this statement will be executed. Maybe the given value is equals to 10 also. For that I am using one more condition, else if x is equals to 10. If that value is equal to 10, this statement will be executed. The x value may not be equal to 1, 5, 10 also. In such cases, I want to execute this else statement. X is something else. Even though we are writing these multiple conditions, only one block will be executed, as we covered just now. Execute it. Enter the number. Let me enter 5. Press enter. Now see, x is 5. Let us execute one more time, and I am entering 20. Press enter. X is something else, because we have written the blocks to check the value with 1, 5, 10 only. For the remaining values, we haven't written the else if blocks. If you enter 20, all these conditions becomes false. In such cases, only else block will be executed. So what we have written in the else, that will be executed. So if you want to write if else within the another if, or any if within the another if, or if you want to write if else within the else part, you can write all are valid. Generally this concept is called nested if or nested if else. See this, dynamically we need to enter a number. So this is outer if. Within this if, we are writing one more if else. This is inner if else. This is the concept of nested if else, writing one if else within the another if else. Not only if else, if you want to write simple if within the another if, that is also valid. So if number greater than or equals to 0, if it is true, it enters into the inner if. So again, if number is equals to 0, if the number is greater than or equals to 0, means the number may be a positive, may be equals to 0, right? So then entering into this block, again we are checking if the number is equals to 0. If it is true, we can say that the number is 0. Else means we can say that the number is positive number, because the number greater than or equals to 0 is true and number is equals to 0 is false. Obviously that should be positive number. Then this block is used to check whether the given number is 0 or positive. If this is false, nothing but number is greater than or equals to 0 is false, we can say that the number must be a negative number. So we are writing that in the else part. If this condition is false, else will be executed, we know that. In that we are writing given number is a negative number. Execute this. So I am entering 5. You can observe positive number. Let us execute one more time. I am entering 0 in this case. Enter 0. Again execute. In this case I am entering a negative number, -5. Press enter key. So negative number. This is how to implement nested if. Check your knowledge, what you learned from this video. When will the else block be executed? At most, how many code blocks will be executed in if-elif? Does else block mandatory in if-elif? How to write a code to find whether the given number is even or odd? How to write a program with if-else-if? If this video is useful to you, please subscribe the channel, like the video and share with your friends. Thank you for watching this video.